Hello everyone and welcome to StudyIQ. I'm Dr. Mahipal Rathod and today we have with us Mr. Balanagendran from Chennai who has cleared the Civil Services Exam 2019 with rank 659. He is a visually impaired candidate and he has succeeded in this exam for the second time. So welcome Mr. Balanagendran, welcome to StudyIQ.
Hi everyone, Namaskar Gneng from Chennai, and hope all of you are doing your preparations well and all of staying safe at home.
So before we delve into the details of Mr. Balanagendran's journey, I would like to tell our viewers that he has cracked this exam for the second time. The first time around when he cracked this, that was back in 2015. He did not join the service because he got a rank which would not have given him IAS. And this is his grit, his perseverance that he has given this exam time and again, and he has finally cracked it with a successful rank that will give him a good service. And I think he is an inspiring figure for all of us that you have to persevere for your dreams. So first of all, Mr. Balanagendran, please tell us that where you are from, where did you study, and how did you come to prepare for civil services?
I'm born and brought up in Chennai. Everything, my education, everything is in Chennai. I did not have to move anywhere away from Chennai. I've got everything. I've done schooling in three different schools. Two of them happen to be the special schools till my 10th standard. Uh, my elementary education till 5th standard, I was studying a Little Flower Convent in Chennai. And till my 10th standard, from 6th to 10th, I've done my schooling at St. Louis Institute. And then I have shifted from the special school to the integrated school, where I have done my commerce with business mathematics in order to pursue Bachelor in Commerce in my collegiate. So it was at Sri Ramakrishna Mission Main Higher Secondary School, T Nagar. Then, fortunately, I've got the admission into one of the famous colleges of India, Loyola College Autonomous, where I've done Bachelor's in Commerce. Simultaneously, I've done Diploma in Event Management. Then, since 2010, I have been preparing for services because the journey or the passion behind this service has started when I was 6 years old. My teachers told that this is a coveted service when I was 6 years old. And I've started whenever people ask me, what do you want to do? What do you want to become? Simply said, I want to become an IAS. Just in spite of not knowing what is meant by that, I just said, I want to become an IAS. The childhood family then turned into desire, then into an obsession. And then it has got to a purpose for me to be an IAS officer. Actually, I was 12 years old, I was traveling with my dad. Nearby signal, I've seen a kid selling a book. Kid was around the same age as I was, around 10 to 12 years. That sparkled me. Even I thought, what happened to this kid? Why is that kid? Why that kid has not been provided the same fortune as I am? And when I've grown, I came to know that poverty and property are not distributed, rather concentrated. This is a societal problem, the social problem, which can only be sorted out when we are in a position of change. See, the position in which we can make a change is by being an administrative service. That's where the purpose began. As a matter of fact, that little kid was my inspiration to pursue. Then it has the journey for the services was enticing. As a matter of fact, flamboyance. Many may consider it a downfall after for 9 years to do everything is gone. It's fine with me. The purpose remains the same. The purpose is to make a change. So, in the meantime, in the year 2018-19, I have completed diploma in acupuncture science. So now an healer as a practitioner, and now we have got the fortunate result to get into civil services. And that's all about that's all information about my educational career and the pursuance towards this exam.
So it has been a 9-year long journey for you for the civil services preparation
Yeah.
and getting success. So that in itself is a long time and it needs a lot of mental patience. It needs a lot of grit to continue for a long time and get what you desire. So I would like to ask you that when you got a result in 2015, why did not you join? You got a rank in 900s, if I'm not wrong. So why didn't you join the services?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, my personality test mark was 198 out of 275. When I've seen my marks in the written exam, I felt rejected, to tell you the truth, because uh, I didn't go for any practice, any mock tests, because my network, that I'm network, the sense, the friendships that I have among the civil service aspects, because I was playing idle from home, and it was really self-preparation, which didn't heed to the best. But after finishing my main written exam, I felt that I've done well without knowing the actual reality. And after seeing my marks, I've done personality test well, it seems. 190, it's pretty decent score. I should have been around 100 or above in top 100 with that score in personality test. But alas, I was occupied the 923rd spot, which is not grant me Indian Administrative Service, by the way. That has given me a kind of uh, notion that I need to try again. I believed. See, for the past attempt, I didn't know whether I'm going to clear or not. Fifth has happened to be the truth that I'm clearing. So, which proved that if I can do this, if I can get 926, I can improve my ranking, no problem. Because my ultimate aim is to become an IAS. I don't care when I become, but I'm sure I will be. So I'm not thinking about winning because I didn't know when I'm going to, but I'm sure that I am not going to lose. That's what the only thought that process did. I'm not going to lose. So that's the driving factor. Hence, I didn't join any of this, and I just want to keep going. I don't want to put myself in the comfort of being a civil servant in a group service.
Okay. So you did get to the interview stage again in 2017, right? So what happened at that time, 2017 attempt?
Actually, it was I have lost exam by 1 mark.
Oh, how did that?
It was very, very, very interesting journey. 2017, because I was thinking, I've gone with a zeal because I've cracked this exam and one knew that new tracks, and it was all about some sort of over evaluation of what we. That's the mistake I would like to suggest to the aspirant to do. Don't over evaluate yourself. At the same time, don't under evaluate yourself. Just assess yourself to the actual reality, because you should know what strength, but most importantly, you should know where you're weak. If you know where you're weak, have the guts to accept it. Yes, I'm weak. For example, I'm weak in English, or I'm weak in geography, or I'm weak in reading, or I'm weak in communicating, or I'm weak in presentation. If you know where you are lagging, that itself a great advantage. Once you know that, you have to try to change it rather than putting a state of denial, putting yourself in a state of denial and moving ahead. That's what the lesson I learned in 2017. Because after realizing that I have lost the service by 1 mark, it was hurting afterwards.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you something about your education. Since you are visually impaired, did you ever feel that that was an impediment in your preparation for civil services? I'm specifically asking about civil services only. And secondly, where did you prepare your notes, or how did you get the sources from? Because when you started, I don't think that the digital revolution that we see today was there. So how did you start preparation, and what are the best sources that one can get?
Absolutely. Actually, visual impairment provides sort of societal limitation, I would say, because mostly the sources are available with the consideration of the majority. I see the problem of accessibility, affordability, and availability. It was imminent till 2014 or 2015, especially in the arena of civil services. The only example is that at that time we had Ronald Patel, sir. He has ronald.org. At that time, it was on ronald.blogspot.com. It was that's one part of a sample example I would like to give, because as you said, there was digital advancement, and I have to rely on some audio materials which was not available as much as it is today. So I work to get those material into the access format, which would be used for me. So in the meantime, I was not good at English. Even today, I don't think I'm that much good. Somebody excuse me when I pronounce it poor whenever I speak some bad English, because I studied in Tamil medium. The medium of instruction of schooling was in Tamil. Hence, I to equip myself in English, which took around 3 years. When I knew that I'm somewhat good in English, somewhat able to understand and analyze things for civil services, when I look back, it was 3 attempts over. Then, technically speaking, fourth that happened to be my first attempt. Then the journey has begun. Apart from inaccessible, unaffordable, non-availability of materials, I didn't find any sort of obstacle for being a visual analyst, because to me it's like we know what it is, because I have been through this, so I know what I am getting into. Before preparing myself, before beginning my preparation, I know that what I'm getting into. So I'm not going to clear this as I expect, but I'm going to clear this. So I've prepared to lose. That's the major thing I'd like to highlight here. I knew that I'm not going to clear in my first 3 prelims, despite knowing that I went for the exam, because I want to be in the hunt. I just want to feel sense of competition. So that talent hasn't been an excuse. And now it shouldn't be an excuse, because you have a lot of sources. You've been asking about the source. Initially, I was having this audio and some braille material. And now we have bookshop.org, where you can register yourself, and specifically for the people with impairment. So you can register yourself and you can read and download the books. Many books are available for competitive exams. And even I would like to zoom out to some academies like StudyIQ. As the publishers of your own material, you can contact Bookshare. You can deliver at a nominal cost, so that the persons with impairment can access it. So, similarly, the Sukamya Pustalaya, that is another platform where you can avail all these. Now you have Flipkart, Amazon, e-commerce websites. You can purchase e-books. So now accessibility is very much at your hands. And as a visually challenged, my suggestion would be to my fellow challenged individuals is equip yourself technologically. Don't rely upon the traditional conventional materials. Equip yourself technologically, because that's where you will compete in the same place.
Okay. So really good advice you have for the future aspirants, and I'm sure many of those will be watching your interview specifically and getting inspired for the coming years, and I'm sure they will crack this exam as well. Coming to the strategy that you had for prelims, specifically for prelims I'm talking about, how did you go about your prelims preparation?
Yeah, since 2015 till 2019, I didn't use any prelims. So I've been clearing all the prelims. The major strategy I feel is previous question paper. That's the key which UPSC provides. That's the key. You need to have your previous year paper. For example, for 2015 prelims, I have spent around 5 to 6 months in studying the prelims paper since 2011. So I took 2011 paper. Then I worked with all the optionals, all the multiple choice options given there, and I've studied all of them, and I have understood in which areas are to be concentrated somehow. And I'm fortunate in the prelims. And the second thing is integration of current affairs with the static. For example, if you take politics, the Indian polity, now these are like contempt of court, this tribunal, part 14. All these things are coming again and again. Even today, there was an editorial about the Article 239AA, about which deals with the power share and distribution of power between Lieutenant Governor and the State Assembly, National Territory. So all these things to be updated with the static point that we have. And third is practice mock tests. Write some tests, and that for that institutes are inevitable. That provides you assessment and opportunity to assess yourself, as well as brings you confidence. You will know what your peers are all about. Who is your next? Your friend is going to be your greatest competitor in the academy. Not only in the academy, in the exam. So if you know what is happening around you, that will help you a lot. And fourth thing, eat, sleep, read, repeat.
Okay. So coming to the mains exam, regarding mains, did you prepare your own notes or you referred to the materials that is available in print or online? What was your strategy for each paper for GS 1, 2, 3, 4, the general studies papers?
First of all, while preparing for prelims itself, my focus is on main, has been on mains because it's an integral part. Compared to prelims and main, there was addition, but I would suggest there should be a separation. It's all about factual and conceptual in prelims, and it's factual plus conceptual plus analytics in mains. For example, there was a question in 2008, define mantle plume. So you should know the definition of mantle plumes. Define blue revolution. You know the definition of blue revolution. It's conceptual. It's factual. So that when you study, you integrate preparation, and that's what I did. Then for just one, of course, I have some of my notes. I always make notes for my speedy preparation. For GS1, especially when we talk about art and culture, I went for CCRT website for art culture, and then I've taken some notes from NCERT Fine Arts, and I hope everybody's studying NCERT, everybody's reading NCERT. So we need not have to be special mentioning of NCERT, I believe. Then for world history, I have read Norman Law for modern world history and some of the notes from NCERT. So G1 Indian society is about Ramanuja's problem books and social issues, current affairs that you people are delivering on the online platform. For the rest, geography, everything is from NCERT. But GS2, Indian polity of Lakshmikant. NCERT gives you the basic understanding of why to study Constitution, what makes Constitution matter. So we should read NCERT for Indian polity also. For governance, Lakshmikant's book. International relations, some article of Ministry of External Affairs. The websites like South Asian analysis, and some information from Press Information Bureau and the for the aspects of GS3 economics. As I am a commerce student, so I had some notes with economics, and I follow Tamil Nadu State Board books. My suggestion would be, if you are a fresher to economics, try to read 11th standard Tamil Nadu State Board books. That gives you a basic understanding about Indian economics. Then you can do. I moved to first. I've read some articles of Ronald Sir. Then I've read a time Ramesh Sir's book, and I had taken notes from Ganesh. So I've read Ramesh Singh and I have taken notes from Shankar Ganesh. So that helped me in economics. And every economics is an ongoing process, a strange subject. So you need to update by reading economics as a part of current affairs preparation. Then internal security, all this stuff, I rely on the academies, you people who share your materials online for free. So I take all those materials. And for this environment, I study National Open School environment book. And there is environment by Shankar IAS Academy, if you heard about that academy, which is in Chennai.
Yes.
So they provide a very good environment book.
That book is really...
and I read from there. Yes. For environment, I go up from there. And then for ethics, lexicon, ethics, integrity, and aptitude. That's because that gives what is a case study. That makes you understand how a case study will look like, and so it gives a concept strategy. So for every concept, you can rely upon lexicon. And I've taken some case studies, Subbarao sir's book, as suggested, and I practiced answering. That's most important, because you need to understand the structure, what is being asked with the tailword and the components of the question. Then you have to proceed with your content. Once you got the structure, content will fall in place, provided you have prepared.
So did you practice answer writing every day, or you wrote one mock test sitting for 3 hours once every week? So was it daily answer writing practice, or practicing one test together sitting for 3 hours?
Actually, daily, every day, 2 questions. Since last June 3rd week. Since 3rd week of June, exactly if I have to mention the date, June 18, 2019, I've written 2 questions every day, which was evaluated by my seniors. And then for every Tuesday, I sat up for the mock, 3 hours. So I used to take up the questions, GS1, GS2, essay, and so on. So since June 18, it has continued, which helped me a lot. So you need to sit up and write. Initially, you won't finish 20 questions. Don't get dejected. I've written around 12 questions only. Then slowly you can pick it up. As I said in my previous response, that you need to know the structure before you write any answer. Unless until you know the structure, you will not be able to put things into the nutshell, because civil services answer writing is all about putting things into the nutshell. So you need to know the structure for which mock answers writing practice is of paramount significance.
Okay. What was your optional subject?
Public administration.
And any special tips or any special strategy for public administration that you used for your answers or your subject, your mains question papers?
Absolutely, because public administration is a very good subject. As a matter of fact, you can articulate yourself. You can present yourself in the better way possible if you choose public administration optional. But the only thing I would like to suggest that if you know that you can write well, you can pick up the optional. And it provides you a real-time understanding of the government machinery, about the system, what is around us, what is happening in and around us. So this optional preparation, static point of view, may take little period compared to the rest of the optionals, but it is a lifelong learning optional, because that's, as I said, it provides you real-time information about what is happening around you. And for public administration, I suggest to study IGNOU materials first, BA and MA. For your easy download, I think you can get it from the IGNOU Idiom Kosh website. You can go and you can register yourself and look at the syllabus, and accordingly you can download. So public administration for even initial reading, that is enough. Then I've read Administrative Thinkers by Prasad and Prasad, cover to cover, 21 thinkers, and I have read all of them. I love that book like anything. Whenever I feel bored, I read that book. Then New Horizons of Public Administration by Mohit Bhattacharya sir. For paper 2, I read some chapters of Fadia and Fadia, and Indian Public Administration by Ramesh K. Arora and Rajni Boyle. This suffice. And you need to update from the newspaper. Every day there will be a news about government machinery. Every day there will be a news about administration. Every day there will be a news, 1 or 2 about international relation, and so on. So the real tips I would like to give is, apart from these sources and preparation, while writing answers, if you're writing for paper 1, try to interconnect with paper 2. Give some current affairs, give some Indian administration perspective, give some perspectives, examples from India. And when you're writing paper 2, try to give your thinkers, try to substitute your thinkers in the justification of your answers.
Okay. Now, coming to the interview process. My first question is that how many interviews have you faced? And second, what difference did you think you brought? What difference did you think you brought to your strategy over the period of these different interviews? Do you think that you evolved yourself to face the interviews somehow? Did mock interviews help? Or what was your general strategy regarding the interviews?
Actually, interview is all about, I would like to, as a chess player, let me summarize the process of interview from my understanding from the perspective of chess. The actual interview is like you are a player who is going to play with the black pieces. Okay. So you don't know what the person who is going to play with the white pieces pieces move is. That's the scenario you are going to sit in. So the board members are going to play with the white pieces. They are going to make their first move. So you need to know accordingly how to make your moves. So coming to the perspective of mock interviews, of course it helps, because it shapes your answers. It shapes your personality. Ultimately, what you possess inside alone is going to be reflected. Personality can't be changed by means of some advice or tips, but it will help you in the long run to understand the question, to understand the scenario of the board, and to understand how you present yourself. When you attend the mock interview, you will be provided a video of your interview. So when you see that, you yourself can assess, am I doing good? So for that, mock interviews are utmost important, especially when you attend mock interviews in front of some bureaucrats who are already in the service, who are well experienced. They would let you know how to respond, because the mindset of the board at the Dolpur House is going to be very cordial. Let me tell you, the interview process is very cordial because their initial notion is to make you feel comfortable. They will ask your profile, they will ask your roll number, they will ask your name, the meaning of your name, or where you come from, how have you come to Dolpur House. Or for me, they have asked that your journey with civil service is impressive. Why is this much love? This is what the first question from Sujata Mehta ma'am. I have sat in her board this year. It was very cordial, very cordial. So interview is going to be very cordial. It's all about how you present yourself.
Okay. Your interview, were you asked much about the optional, or did it go on the lines of general questions that we are asked? I want to ask you this specifically because many times aspirants neglect their optional subjects while going to the interview. Do you think that is okay, or you should prepare optional properly or thoroughly?
If we read UPSC notification, it says the main examination process comprises of two stages. One is written and one is personality test. So which resembles what? Personality test should not be separated from your written preparation. So once you finish your main exam, you can go and enjoy, have party, everything. But your preparation should go hand in hand for the personality test, which means your optional subject should not be separated. And then the questions in the board, in the actual interview, you are the one who is providing them an opportunity to raise questions. So make yourself that you are inviting the board members to the areas of your comfort. Let me give an example of my actual interview so that you would be able to understand how the questions are being asked. So before going to the interview, I determined that at least one or two questions I will make the board to ask from how to educate children, because I am interested to work for child development. That's my passion. So I just want them to ask the question about how to educate children. So this was my intention before I entered into the boardroom. When I entered, the first thing was all about the journey. As I said, it was so impressive that in with services for 9 years, you explain how you've been managing and all. Then, after asking my journey with the civil services, the next question was about uh, the hobby, which I haven't mentioned in the DAF. The question was, apart from what you mentioned in your detailed application form as your hobby, would you like to say any activity which you do as your interest, as a part of your interest? Then I said, we have a school teaching team. I lead a team where we educate children at free of cost. Especially we educate children, those who cannot afford a tuition, evening tuitions. Then the board got impressed. Then the next question from the first member of the board, this question was asked by the chairperson. Then the first member of the board asked, now tell me, sir, how would you develop the skill of children? So on what basis you would educate the children towards skill development? And there were around 2 to 3 questions about how to educate children. So this is where I felt comfortable, because I want them to ask about this. I want this question to be asked. Not the exact question I've dreamt of, but I've dreamt of the question being asked from how to educate children. So this is how you need to make the board, you need to invite the board to question you. Don't make them invite you to answer. Just invite them to question. And that's where you can have the control over the board. As I said, it will be a cordial board with unbiased members. And technically speaking, it is not interview, it is a personality test where 5 experts, 5 elderly people are going to interact with you, by means of which they are going to assess you. So go with it and practice. Before going for actual interview, give some mock interview.
Okay. I think you made a very good analogy with chess. So you made your move, and I think you made a successful move inviting them to ask you about child education. So
Yes.
is that a field that you would like to work upon as well when in the services?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So I think you will do a wonderful job in the services. And during your introduction, I forgot to mention one thing. So I did read an article about you where it said that you were the first graduate in your family, and
Yes.
that again makes it a bigger achievement, I think. So Mr. Balanagendran, it was a brilliant half an hour conversation with you. I think I don't even know how much time has passed when we had this talk. I'm sure many aspirants will be inspired by you, your journey, and by your sources that you mentioned. They will be able to prepare easily. And we wish you all the best from everyone at StudyIQ. And we hope that you will do great things in the services. Thank you so much for taking.
I take this moment to thank StudyIQ, all the members, staffs, and the aspirants. My best wishes to each and every one of you. The next year calendar has also been released. So start putting your boots on and prepare yourself. Be smart in your preparation. Smart. Keep this in mind. Competency is more important than confidence. So improve your competency. Finally, I take this moment to salute each and every one of you who are coaching there. Eat, sleep, read, repeat. Thank you.
Thank you so much.